My brother knew just how to make my day when I was a kid. Every day he would spend time with me, no matter how busy he may have been. Every weekday we would go walk around downtown Mount Airy. And every weekend we would go roller skating, bowling, or watch a new movie that came out. And he was never embarrassed of having me tag along with him and his friends. My brother was the one who'd never let me stay on the ground. He taught me how to ride a bike, which also got me some pretty scraped up knees. Each time I fall, he picked me right back up and told me to try again. He never let me stay down, and today that's why I keep getting back up and keep trying, even if it does take time. My brother Jose truly taught me what life is about. With his own experiences since around the time I was 3 years old, I witnessed that life is about facing struggles, and that it continues whether you're ready for it or not. I admire how Jose has always been a fighter, someone who doesn't back down easily and gets right back up even when he hits the ground. He, along with my mother, came as immigrants to the United States in 1994, and life was anything but easy for them. He didn't have his biological father in his life. We share the same mother, but not the same dad, and yet he didn't let his father's absence dictate his life. My biological father would constantly mistreat Jose over absolutely nothing, simply because he wasn't his biological son. Throughout all the years of mistreatment, Jose kept his composure, did not once backtalk his father. This astonished me, because I know I didn't have that kind of self-control, and my brother knew he was getting mistreated over nothing, but he didn't complain, not once. I can't say that Jose really had a male role model to show him how to become a man, so he had to be his own. Jose was the first to graduate from the family in 2006 from Mount Airy High School. I believe this was the only time I actually saw Father congratulate Jose, and I knew Jose truly appreciated it. He didn't hold any grudges against Father, even after all the years of mistreatment. I look up to Jose for that. He forgives and doesn't dwell on things in the past. It takes bravery to be able to look ahead and know that there will be struggles, but still continue in life. Jose had such big dreams to go off to college and get his degree in auto mechanics. But at the time, illegal immigrants didn't get the opportunity to attend college as easily as U.S. citizens did. My brother's dreams were crushed, but it didn't stop him. He worked with what he could get. Life didn't stop to wait for my brother, and he knew this. He faced his obstacles, and he faced them instead of running from them. From the time my brother was 18 years old, he was working how to stay in the carports industry for weeks, sometimes months at a time. I'd be extremely happy whenever he'd call to let me know when he'd be returning from work. I would mark it and count down the days until he got back. He worked up all he could. He worked and saved up all his money and eventually got his own car and his own house. He was 20 around the time. When I was 13, my brother eventually met a girl. I couldn't believe the news when I heard it. My brother was going to be a father. Jose had to work even harder and longer than before. I saw my brother under extreme stress, and at times I didn't know if he would still be able to hold it all together. He seemed distant, and I was afraid that the strong man I once knew was starting to crumble. But like every time before, my brother faced it, dealt with it, and he didn't blow off his new responsibility that was on the way. I finally was able to understand why this was truly stressing him out. He admitted to me that he was afraid, and it was a shock to me. He was afraid he would not be a good father to his coming child, and this fear had come from the thoughts of his own father's absence. It astonished me because he had been fine all along without his biological father being in the picture. There I was at 13, having to keep my 22-year-old brother from giving up and reminding him he didn't allow me to stay down. How he made me get back up and keep trying, even if it does take time. I won't forget that moment because I put into use everything I had observed my brother do up to that point, and I was actually able to reach out to him. He hugged me and told me that he was proud of me because he knew I wouldn't be one to go down so easily. He told me he knew I wouldn't give up easily, just like him. He was right, because now I realize that nothing comes to you if you don't work for it. Life will throw obstacles and not wait for you. And I'm able to make myself get back up from the ground, even during the darkest and weakest days, sometimes slowly, but surely. Today I tell him that I'm proud for overcoming everything that was meant to tear him apart. But the one thing I'm most proud of him for is the astonishing father he has become to his beautiful daughter, my niece. Even when he felt that he couldn't do it. My niece is my world, and Jose knows this. He tells me just how much of a great aunt I am to her, just as I tell him how much of a wonderful father he is to her. He became the father he didn't have.